18 subtle ways girls compare you to their ex. Hey there, it's Anna. Have you ever had that unsettling feeling that you are being quietly judged against her ex? Well, today we are uncovering the subtle yet significant signs indicating she might be comparing you to someone from her past. Are you prepared to dive into these covert cues and understand what they truly signify? Let's dive in. Indirect references. One subtle way she might be comparing you to her ex is through indirect references. Now, she may bring up anecdotes or preferences and tie them to someone she used to know. These references might seem random or out of context, but could be her way of drawing parallels or contrast with her past relationship. For instance, she might say, "Oh, someone I knew hated sushi," after you suggest a Japanese restaurant. It's actually her way of inserting past relationship experiences into the present, albeit indirectly. Comparing habits. Comparisons often surface through observations about habits or behaviors. Now, she might comment on how you do certain things, such as, "Oh, you fold your clothing differently than what I'm used to," or "You are the first person I've met who likes their coffee that way." While these might seem like innocuous observations, they can be subtle hints that she's mentally comparing you with an ex, especially if she frequently makes these kinds of remarks. Reaction to certain topics. Her reactions during conversations can reveal a lot. If she becomes unusually reflective or even defensive when discussing certain topics, it might be a sign she's comparing your perspective with her ex's. For instance, if you express an opinion on commitment or hobbies and she responds with, "That's not what I've experienced before," or "I used to think that too," these can be indicators that she's relating your viewpoints to those of her ex. Expectations in situations. Sometimes a girl might have preconceived expectations based on her past relationship. If she appears surprised or thrown off by your reactions or decisions in specific scenarios, this might indicate she's measuring your actions against her ex's. For example, if you react calmly in a situation where she expected a more heated response and she comments on it, it could be a sign that she is subconsciously holding you up against a benchmark set by her past experiences. Subtle questions about your past. In her efforts to understand you better, she might ask about your past relationships. While this can be a part of getting to know each other, pay attention to the context and frequency of these questions. If she often inquires how you reacted in past relationships or what went wrong, she might be comparing your history to her own experiences with her ex. For instance, questions like, "Have you ever dated someone like me before?" or "How did you handle breakups in the past?" could be her way of indirectly comparing you to previous partners. Music or movie preferences. Shared activities like listening to music or watching movies can inadvertently become platforms for comparison. If she often brings up her ex's preferences during these activities, such as saying, "My ex used to love this band," or "He never liked these kinds of movies," it's a subtle way of putting you and her ex on the same scale. She might be trying to find commonalities or differences between you two, which can be insightful but also a sign of lingering attachment to past relationships. The way you handle conflict. Conflict resolution is a significant aspect of any relationship, and how you handle disagreements can be a point of comparison. If she makes remarks like, "You are so calm during arguments, my ex would have reacted differently," or "This is not what I'm used to," she's reflecting on those past experiences. While it might show that she appreciates your approach, it also suggests that she's evaluating your behavior against her past relationship dynamics. Your sense of fashion style. Fashion and style, of course, personal choices, but they can become subjects of comparison. If she comments on your dressing style in relation to her ex's, for example, she may say, "You dress so differently than someone I used to know," or, "Well, yeah, my ex had a jacket just like that one." She's likely comparing you, possibly unconsciously. And these remarks could be innocent observations, but if they are frequent, it's indicative of her mind drawing parallels between you and her ex. Social media comments. Social media plays a significant role in contemporary relationships. If she frequently comments on your social media usage or posting habits and compares them to another person's, she might be drawing comparisons with her ex. For instance, remarks like, "You don't post as much as someone I used to know," or "My ex would always share our photos and I notice you don't do the same." This can be a subtle indication of her benchmarking your online presence against her past experiences. While these comments might seem casual, they can offer insights into her expectations or comfort zones established in past relationships. Friends circles interaction. The way you mingle and interact with your friends can be another area where comparisons are made. If she frequently mentions how someone from her past behaved in social settings or with friends, it's likely she's comparing that person, obviously her ex, with you. Remarks like, "You're so different when you're with your friends compared to him," or "He used to always do this when we were out with friends," indicate she's of course observing and contrasting your social behaviours with those of her ex. Handling of finances. Financial habits are a more subtle but revealing aspect where comparisons can emerge. She might make observations about your approach to spending, saving, or general financial management, referencing how it differs from her ex's. Statements like, "You are much more frugal than someone I used to date," or "My ex was just really into investing just like you." This obviously suggests that she is gauging your financial tendencies against her previous experiences, consciously or subconsciously. Physical affection levels. Physical affection and intimacy levels vary greatly from one relationship to another, and if she frequently brings up how you display affection and compares it to what she's used to, it could be a sign that she's measuring your intimacy levels against her past relationships. Comments like, "You're not as cuddly as what this person was," or "It's interesting, he was never really into holding hands." It indicates her mind's effort to reconcile or contrast her past experiences with the present dynamics that she shares with you. Communication style. Communication is a cornerstone of any relationship, and how it differs from past relationships can be an area for comparison. If she remarks on your style of communication, such as how often you text or call, and then compares it to how it used to be with someone else, well, she's obviously drawing a parallel with her past relationship. For instance, comments like, "You text a lot more than what my ex did," or "He never called as much as you do," highlight her conscious or subconscious evaluation of your communication patterns against those of her ex. Your ambitions and goals. Now, a person's ambitions and life goals are often a point of comparison, especially if they significantly differ from those of her previous partners. If she makes observations or comments about your career path, life objectives, or long-term aspirations, and contrasts them with someone else, implying her ex, well, it indicates she's comparing your drive and future plans with those of her past relationship. Statements such as, "My ex wasn't as ambitious as you are," or "You have different goals compared to someone I used to know." It reflects this kind of comparative thinking. Leisure activities and hobbies. The way you spend your leisure time or engage in hobbies can also become a basis for comparison. If she frequently comments on your choice of recreational activities or hobbies, especially in relation to someone from her past, well, she might be comparing you to her ex. Remarks like, "You're really into hiking, my ex was more of a homebody," or "He never enjoyed art museums like you do." It suggests she's noticing differences or similarities between your interests and those of someone in her past. Your humor and jokes. Humor is a personal and subjective aspect, often compared with past experiences. If she comments on your sense of humor or the way that you joke, particularly mentioning how it's very different or similar to her ex's, it's of course a sign of comparison. For example, "You were funnier than my ex," or "He used to joke about things like that too," can be her way of subconsciously comparing your humor style with that of her past partner, gauging what she enjoys or finds lacking. Holiday and vacation preferences. Holidays and vacations are often filled with personal preferences and traditions, making them ripe for comparisons with past experiences. So if she discusses your ideas for an ideal holiday or vacation destination and then subtly contrasts them with experiences she's had before, this could be a sign she's comparing you to an ex. For instance, she might be planning a trip. She could say, "My ex would never have thought of going camping," or "He always preferred beach resorts over mountain retreats." These remarks not only reveal her past experiences, but also indicate she's measuring your preferences against those of her previous partner. Cultural and lifestyle choices. A woman may also compare your cultural interests and lifestyle choices with those of her ex, either consciously or subconsciously. This could be your taste in music, food, preferences, or even your approach to health and fitness. If she makes observations like, "You're really into indie films, my ex was more of a mainstream movie fan," or "You have a much healthier lifestyle compared to someone I used to know," she's drawing parallels between your cultural tastes and lifestyle habits with those of her former partner. And these comparisons can be her way of assessing compatibility, or simply just noting differences and similarities in a reflective manner. With insights on how girls subtly compare you to their ex, what is next? You might like how girls flirt for a deeper understanding of her flirting style, or signs she has a secret crush to spot those hidden signs of affection. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support with a like, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe.